I'm Dr. Vanita Rattan, and this channel is dedicated to skincare for skin of color. So as you know, I'm a doctor, but I'm also a cosmetic formulator specifically for skin of color. If you've watched enough of my videos by now, you will know why skin of color requires different skincare to Caucasian skin. First of all, what is skin of color? How do you define it? How do you know if you have skin of color? So I often have someone from the Mediterranean who may say, but I'm very fair, how can I be skin of color? This is the definition. If you are more likely to tan rather than burn in the sun, then you are considered to have skin of color. The reason is that your melanocytes, the cells that produce the pigment melanin, are larger and they are easier to trigger. So it's a very clear-cut, simple definition, which hopefully shouldn't, avoid any confusion or any uncertainty. So if you are more likely to tan, it means you're more likely to get melasma. It means you're more likely to, after any inflammation of the skin, get more pigmentation. You have to be more educated and with your skincare. You can't just sort of put anything on. With Caucasian skin, you can get away with a lot more when it comes to actives and irritating the skin, inflaming the skin, and the skin will recover. With us, one mosquito can take down our skin. And so we can't afford to be so callous with our skin. We do need to know exactly what we're putting on our skin, what the percentages are, what the pH is, how do we layer it, etc. So really, this is what my channel is all about, is to demystify all of it, make it so easy and simple and no issues. So I hope you're enjoying this channel and I hope I'm giving you the content that you want. Today's video has been requested and requested and requested, and this is Purito. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong as well. It says Purito? Purito, I think, yes. So I've gone through all their best sellers. Again, I asked you on my Instagram at the Hyperpigmentation Clinic which specific products you wanted me to review in this video. So I've basically just done what you've told me to do. So if that sounds good to you, give me a thumbs up. Okay, so the first product is their Centella Green Level Calming Toner. So the positives, we always start off with the positives. And also before I start, I should probably remind you that I've never been sponsored by any brand and I never will be sponsored by any brand. This is evidence-based, purely evidence-based and based on the ingredients. It just means that I have the freedom to tell you if I don't like something and there's not going to be any repercussions other than people writing negative things below, but that's okay. So let's start off with the positives of this toner. So the positives are, it's a moisturizing and inflammatory, so anti-inflammatory. So it's got Centella asiatica in it, it's got butylene glycol, it's got sodium hyaluronate, it's got panthenol, glycerin, and allantoin. These are all fantastic ingredients, great for skin of color. The negative, however, is that they added witch hazel, which is often distilled in alcohol, not all the time, but often. And when you do that, you're actually incorporating alcohol into your skincare. And as you all know, alcohol over a long period of time does damage the skin. It leads to premature aging, which is exact opposite of what all of us want. So I just avoid any alcohol and witch hazel in your skincare. They also added citrus fruit oil, which is a volatile, fragrant oil, and that tends to sensitize the skin, and again is something you want to avoid. They added Cananga odorata, which can also be a skin sensitizer, and they've also got rose flower oil, which is also fragrant and sensitizes the skin. So don't forget, rose oil is different to rose hip oil. Rose hip oil is good for your skin. Rose oil you want to avoid. And it's really confusing because on the packaging it says artificial fragrance free. That's the confusion, because you would think that there's no fragrance in this, but they've added essential oils for the fragrance, but the essential oils are very irritating and you don't really want to incorporate on skin of color. So this is a classic thing that happens where the marketing doesn't add up to what the inky list and the ingredients are saying. Okay, so the next product is the Centella Green Level Unscented Sun SPF50. So I actually quite like this product. It is a chemical sunscreen, and as you know, my favorite is always going to be physical sunscreens because we tend to get melasma, we tend to get pigmentation on our faces, and physical sunscreen reflects far more than chemical does. Chemical absorbs, physical does absorb up to a certain point and then it starts reflecting. So reflecting is always going to be better, because don't forget, when you absorb, you're retaining thermal energy, actually creating thermal energy, and this can trigger our melanocytes. With skin of color, we don't want any energy on our skin. We don't want visible light on our skin. We don't want infrared on our skin. We don't want UV on our skin. We don't want any energy. And so I'm always going to prefer physical over chemical. I've made like 2 or 3 videos, I think, on physical versus chemical for you for skin of color, if you want to go into a little bit more detail. But I mean, in terms of chemical, this is probably one of the best I've seen. It's got no alcohol, no fragrance, no irritants. It's got pH neutral antioxidants, which is very important. If you see a sunscreen that has ascorbic acid in it, or, you know, I would probably avoid, because ascorbic acid has got a pH of about 2.5. It's quite low, and you don't want to do that and then go out into the sun. That's actually going to irritate your skin and lead to photosensitivity. So you wouldn't wear that when you've got UV around. But these have got pH neutral antioxidants, which I'm very happy with. So, and it's a good broad spectrum SPF50. So if you like it, you know, I'm okay with you wearing this one. So the next product I really like, and it is Centella Unscented Serum. So it's got anti-inflammatories and moisturizers in it. It's got Centella asiatica, glycerin, ceramide NP, it's got sodium hyaluronate, and it's got peptides. So it's great for dry, aging skin, because don't forget, you're losing ceramides, you're losing hyaluronic acid, you're losing glucosaminoglycans as we age. And that's why your skin tends to feel much drier than it did few decades before. So what you want to do is to have water magnets in the skin, which is what your humectants are, to draw water back into the skin to give you plumper skin, which tends to iron out fine lines as well. And who doesn't want to have some fine lines ironed out? That's one of my favorite things to do. So I would say buy this if you've got dry skin that feels like it's aging. So I'm happy with this one. Okay, so the next product is the Centella Unscented Recovery Cream. The positives are that it's got emollients and anti-inflammatories in it. So it's got Centella asiatica, it's got squalene, it's got glycerin and ceramide. The negative is that it's got witch hazel. Now, witch hazel, as we've said, is often distilled in alcohol, which increases free radicals in your skin, which damage your skin over a long period of time. But also you've got increased tannins on the skin, and this can also sensitize the skin if you use it over a long period of time. So it's just avoid anything that has witch hazel on the back of the packaging. Yeah, so for me, this is not Dr. V approved. Okay, so the next product is the cleansing oil. So this is actually very hydrating, and I would purchase this particular product. It's got olea fruit oil, it's got heliantha seed oil, it's got simonsia seed oil, prunus dulcis oil, no fragrance and no essential oils. So they did a really good job with this cleansing oil. And actually cleansing oils are very hard to find. Often they're comedogenic, often they've added essential oils and fragrance and all the things that we just don't want on our skin. So this, I think, is going to be one that I'm going to start recommending actually. So this one's definitely Dr. V approved. Okay, so the next product is Centella Green Level Buffet Serum. So the positives are that it is hydrating, it does have anti-inflammatories in it. So do you remember I told you that often you can see a signature in one brand because it's all the same ingredients. So for example, here they've added centella, glycerin, butylene glycol, sodium hyaluronate, but they've added this in all their products because as a manufacturer, what you would do is I would, for example, buy, sodium hyaluronate or niacinamide or whatever it is, and I'd buy 50 kg of it. I buy a massive drum, like literally I could fit my body in the drum, it's that big. And then you have a 2-year shelf life in order to use it. Often 2 years is sort of the average. Now, what do you think I'm going to do as a manufacturer? I'm going to use that in all my products. And so the aim is to only have ingredients that are phenomenal that you would use in all your products. I would never, for example, go and buy fragrance full stop. It's literally one area of my laboratory that is empty. There is just nothing. We don't buy fragrance. It's a waste of money. It's not good for your skin. But everything else you purchase, you need to be thinking, is this something that I want to add to everything? And you'll see this across the board. Whenever I do any reviews of any product, you'll see the signature, which is really exciting. I don't know, maybe it's a geek in me, but I think it's so cool. So with this one, so they've got their signature. Then they've also added peptides and ceramides. They've got 4 different types, which I love. The negative here, however, is that they added citrus fruit oil, which is a skin sensitizer. And then they added lavender oil, which is an essential oil, which is also not great because it leads to damage over a longer period of time. Often you can wear lavender oil for a while and see, you know, be absolutely fine. And then a year on, your skin starts to become irritated and you're confused as to why, because you've been wearing that same product for a year. Why suddenly is it irritating you? And this is a reason. You tend to get delayed reactions and delayed sensitivity. So in my opinion, I would never recommend, you know, friends or family to put essential oils on the skin, and that is what you are to me, so please avoid. I'm in the comment section for 1 hour, 1 hour of a release of every single video. Please can you write down below any comments that you have, and also try and be here for that hour so I can answer in real time. Please don't forget to download your free guide. The link is below for skincare for skin of color. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram at the Hyperpigmentation Clinic and at Skincare by Dr. V, and on TikTok at Dr. Vanita Rattan. I am trying to actually, I know because obviously India's been banned from TikTok and the US I think has got issues with TikTok as well. So I am uploading everything to Reels on Skincare by Dr. V as well. So, you know, hopefully everyone can see all the content. And that content is really just about condensing these videos into sort of 15-second teaching videos. And then if you want the longer, in-depth analysis of topics, then just follow me on YouTube. Thank you very much for listening.